Wow, that's such a tough issue, isn't it? Because you're sort of dancing between two different sets of needs. And really, at Houston Public Works, that has been a big issue because a lot of the people who work for public works are essential workers. You know, they can't turn off the water and not take care of wastewater, etc. So on one hand, you have the citizens of Houston who need services, and on the other hand, you have employees who may be concerned about going to work, and in particular, those kinds of service employees are usually in crews and trucks, so they don't have social distancing. But what I found, especially with the people at Houston Public Works, is they have this incredible grit and tenacity. They have this extraordinary commitment to serve the city of Houston and create a strong foundation for Houston to thrive. And so they've been very innovative amongst themselves to come up with strategies and tools and routines to protect themselves because they know they have to do the work. Now, obviously, there are other pools of employees in other organizations that may not be considered essential, but still there's a client demand. And so I think, you know, and Carlos and both you have talked about this a lot in this past half hour, is this is a time for us to really have enormous compassion. And compassion doesn't mean letting people off the hook. Compassion doesn't mean you take your foot off the gas pedal and allow people to not show up or not do their work or be lazy. But at the same time, to bring that sense of real empathy and understanding and listening, and then having the conversation about, look, I understand that you may not be comfortable providing the service, and this is something that's necessary. So let's talk about how we can be more flexible, more agile in the way in which the service is delivered, and come up with some ways to make sure that you're protected and safe. And I think that conversation is going to be a critical conversation for several months as we move forward and more organizations transition back to, let's just say, normal, in inverted commas, operations, where there's going to need to be a lot of back and forth and discussion and that flexibility. You know, I think for many leaders, the number one skill that we're going to need to be developing is, one, that skill of caring and compassion, but two, that skill of really being willing to listen and being willing to be flexible, way more flexible than we would typically feel comfortable with.